Coffee came out good today. My favorite, it's pears, it's local. And cinnamon nut swirl, which is the blend that they make, is my favorite. That's what I usually drink. I can drink it black, but I like it sweet and with cream. So yes, my bass brothers and my old comrades, musical comrades, we've lost, a bass brother who does deserve greater recognition and probably won't ever get it from the mainstream music media. I understand that Tim Bogert, the bass player who I first heard in Vanilla Fudge, I have those records, but they're in the closet, and I didn't feel like, be an hour to get in there and search and find them to show them. But Tim Bogert, as a bass player, had a direct influence on me, yes, because of the heavy way he played, his use of fuzz, which I like. I've never been much of a user of effects on bass, but I like the overdrive sound. So I relate to that from him. I'm showing the Beck Bogert Appice album, which I'm sure you folks that know about him know about. And I also have, they put out a single, probably put out more than one single from the album, but Lady, which was, I think, one of the more successful of the songs on the album. I think this album overall is it's just okay, Jeff Beck has always struggled with, how to present the music. He just wants to play the guitar and do whatever he wants to do. He's not interested in being a star and playing the game. So I've just always noticed that it's just always a mixture of influences on what he's recording and playing. Beck, Bogert, and Appice, I want to show this. It's a little tight in the plastic. They put out a live album that only came out in Japan. Beck, Bogert, and Appice Live. This is a bit of a collector's item for folks that know. And the thing that I've always noticed about this album is how high they are. Now, I know this not from people telling me stories, although there are lots of stories. I know it from experience. I recognize it when I hear it. That mixture of cocaine and alcohol, where you have partied before the show and you've partied too much, but you got to play, and you somehow make it through, but really the performance is pretty awful. Now some people don't agree with me, some people really like this, but I hear it. I hear the drugs all throughout this. But it's a cool item to have. And rest in peace, Tim Bogert. Apparently he had cancer. A little more music, and then I'll just say something about where we're at today. Another musician who we lost in the last 5-10 years, Ronald Shannon Jackson. Not only a fantastic drummer, but a wonderful composer, which his albums show. Very interesting composer. Wonderful drummer. So I want to make sure I talk about this, because I forget. I put records away, I forget. Yesterday, someone was showing Janelle Monáe online, so I said, okay, yeah, I haven't listened to her in a while. So I pulled this. This has become a collector's item. The Chase Suite by Janelle Monáe. She is amazing. I've seen her live twice. Tried to meet her. Even though she's from Kansas City. And so I think that's partially why Omaha has been graced in the early days of her rise to fame to shows. I saw her in a very small hall that I played many times. But after the show, the security around her bus was tight. You know, they wouldn't have nobody get near her. She was amazing. She struck me as a female Michael Jackson. That, to me, that's, I'm trying to give it to you. That's high praise. She was a dynamo when I saw her live. Interestingly, I hear a big Atlanta influence on the sound that she was doing at this time. A lot of Outkast in there. Some more music, and then I'm going to go. I ain't going to stay long. Played this last night. This is something I bought last year and forgot that I'd bought it. This is by Jukka Gustavson. He was the keyboardist in Wigwam. Who's trying to... It's early. Okay, it's the band, RAF. I can't pronounce this. Jaloa, Ylpeyttä, Yletän. That's enough. This is after he left the band and became a Christian. And so this is all about Jesus. And look at the graphics. It's instrumental, and so what the text is about is in this big book that comes inside. But it's instrumental, and it's wonderful. I love it because it has that searching, reaching, upward quality. It's also kind of more orchestral, and it doesn't settle down into any one musical style, which I really like. It's like everything about it is searching and reaching upward. I love. Which reminds me to comment on this. People ask me, ever heard of people? And most of the time the answer is yes. Fontaine's DC, yeah. I think they're pretty good. Would I buy it at this point? No. Somebody asked me about Eva Cassidy. I know about Eva Cassidy. I started to watch the documentary, but I couldn't catch your interest. I recognize talent, but just because you're talented doesn't mean I want to listen to you. And Eva Cassidy and a lot of music like that, I just really have no more interest in, where, oh, she can really sing with soul, and she's singing these old songs we've heard a million times. I'm just not interested. So that's what I have to say about that. And music like that, you know. You know, if it's real mainstreamy, and I've heard it a million times, I just have no interest. Spirea X came out of Primal Scream. This is a badass album. Fireblade Skies on 4AD, and every song, it's BAM! So why don't we know about this record? I would say probably the answer is because the band wasn't interested in playing the game of promoting it. But they made a killer-ass album. Killer. I like this better than Primal Scream in general. This one album I like in general than the Ylevää that I've heard from the whole band Primal Scream. That's just speaking from my personal taste. David Allen of Gong, his birthday is listed as either January 13th or the 23rd. So a bunch of people were celebrating it online yesterday, so I joined in. And I listened to the rest of this live at Bataclan, which was recently reissued for Record Store Day. And these folks were high as hell during this show. So much so that there's times when it's a little bit irritant. Have you, any of you folks, surely some of you folks have done enough psychedelics that you know what I'm talking about. And David Allen has recorded enough records where he's also shown where, you know, you're real, and sometimes just negative energy just pops out, you know, or things become overwhelming. And there's some of that on this album, parts where it's kind of like crazed. That's what I'm getting at. A little crazy. Glad I pulled this and showed it yesterday. Been meaning to. Really good album. Tax-free. The band was started by Wally Tax, who was the lead singer of the Dutch band The Outsiders. This was made in 1970. Completely different from The Outsiders. This is really jazzy and laid back and really good. And I'm glad I posted it and talked about it because a lot of people didn't know about it. There were people who do know about it, but even the ones that knew about it had overlooked the fact that John Cale plays viola on this, and the jazz bassist Richard Davis plays bass on the whole album. This is wonderful. Tax-free. Okay? So, the fucker has been impeached for the second time. Let's get him convicted. He does not deserve those perks that taxpayer money is going to pay for. I'd like to see him stripped of it all. You know, he did the exact opposite of the delusion that he came in office on. Make great America great again. He's shown us just how great America isn't. He really needs to have some consequences. And that's the main thing I want to say. It's like, we need to get some light back in this world. We need to move forward. And I'm not a Democrat. I am not hopeful. I know what these crazed right-wing lunatics are concerned about. This so-called deep state. That's not what's going on. It's just corporate money. It's just whoever's got the money gets what they want. And that's how the Dems operate. And the military-industrial complex has been in their pocket forever. So I have no false hope about fucking Democrats. Anything just about is better than fucking Trump. But let's give these people a chance to see if they're going to show their ass and go back to the same old bullshit, or if they're going to actually try and help everyone move forward. I watch the news internationally, and I see all this madness going on all over the planet. I'm watching Africa. I see Uganda. I care about those people. The naked grab for power never changes, and it's like the people who get the closest to the power are the ones who are going to do the least, and we're just kind of stuck on stupid. But that's what I got to say about it. And we just got to make the best of this. And I'm basically staying at home. I just got an email this morning about getting involved in this mental health deal. And I told them I'm not interested in leaving my house right now. We'll see what they want from me in a minute. I'm into activism, and I've been an activist since I was a teen. And there is actually literally, unless it's been erased, a file on me in the Library of Congress because of the FBI, because of my involvement with the Black Panthers. So this is nothing new, people. This is who I really am, okay? So the idea that Dereck is ever just going to sit here and just tell you about records and not tell you what's on his mind, what his concerns are, it isn't happening. It isn't happening. One last thing I want to say. Yeah, okay, this will be a little long. Not too long. I listened to Jim Bohannon last night. He's right-wing. Fuckhead. I don't have respect for these people, so I will call names. Righteously, justifiably so. And this is what I'm saying. The crap that he was saying last night and all of his right-wing white callers, their whole bitch is that they're falsely equivalating the violence at the Capitol with the violence that broke out with the protests over black people being treated like absolute shit. There is no... They always say, they don't always, but they've been saying, well, if you're going to protest, you protest peacefully. Everybody has to follow those rules. And here's what I'm saying. The problem, and I don't condone the violence, which some of you assholes have tried to say. I say I understand what happened last year because of the long-standing double standard. The system tells black people to follow the rules, but we don't get fair treatment. It's very ream after ream of evidence, and it's still going on. We go to court, we don't get treated the same. We go to buy property, we don't get the same treatment. We go to get jobs, we don't get the same treatment. Me as a record collector, just dealt with it yesterday in a group. Talking about Gong, where another member who I don't know tries to cattily say, well, you probably don't know about this band. You ever heard of? And I just went ahead and did what I don't usually do, is I said, I showed him, I just dumped a bunch of info on him. It's like, and then he backed up and said, oh, I guess I asked the wrong question. I said, I'm used to it. This shit happens all the time. It's a subtle form of racism where you don't see me as an equal. And that's the problem with these right-wing fucks, is that they will not acknowledge, or they're blind to the fact that the system has never been fair to black and brown people. That does not condone the violence, but that's where that was coming from. And then it got compromised by the white right wing and then all the other assholes, okay? So I'm not having this argument that Black Lives Matter cause violence. It's the same. It is not. It is not. It is not. Black and brown people and red people have had their necks stepped on by white dominance for hundreds of years, and it's not okay. And this is something that a lot of white people just don't want to face.